Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you a card using the Alleyway stamps and a memory box die. So to get started, I have the Alleyway stamps Wish Big stamp set, and I just have a piece of My Mind's Eye pattern paper. It's from my scrap bin, so you could really use any pattern paper. You don't need too much of it. So I'm just going to stamp the balloon image 3 times. Twice on the star side, and then I'm going to flip it over and stamp it once on the orange polka dotted side, so I'll have 3 balloons in total. And then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut them out. I'm just cutting my pattern paper down so that I can cut them easier. So I'll go ahead and cut all those out, and then I take my Tuxedo Black Memento marker and go along the edges of all of them just so the edges are completely black, and then it doesn't really look like you actually fussy cut it. It's kind of a neat trick to do. Alright, and that's the pattern paper that I used from that My Mind's Eye 6x6 paper pad. And I cut down the polka dotted pattern paper that I chose to use. And then I have a piece of orange cardstock that I cut smaller than my pattern paper, and that'll go right in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and glue down the balloons, and I'm just using a Zig 2-way glue pen. You could use any adhesive for that part. And then I'll glue the orange piece down to my pattern paper. And before I put the third balloon on, I'm going to stamp the little string coming from each of the balloons. And then I'm going to stamp it one more time in the middle. I'm going to kind of lay out where I want that balloon and where the string should go. And then to adhere the third balloon, I just take some 3D foam squares and I'll attach those because I want that balloon to be popped up from the other two. And then I'm going to take the banner that's from the same stamp set, and then I just have a scrap of the Coordinations 110-pound cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my banner right on there. And the reason I'm using the heavy cardstock is because I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring inside of the banner. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp the Happy Birthday sentiment on the inside. And remember, when you're using your Copics, you only want to use the Memento ink. You don't want to use StazOn. So I cut that out, and I'm going to do my Copic coloring a little bit later. First, I'm going to be taking this Memory Box tiny bow die, and that is what it looks like. I have some teal cardstock that I'm going to cut it out of. So just run that through the Cuttlebug or whichever machine you have. And the pieces are super tiny. I knew this when I was buying it, but I really liked it, so I thought I would give it a try, but it is very complicated to put together. It took me quite a while. So you fold in the two sides towards the center, and then there's that little triangle piece that you have to fold along or fold around each side. So I put a dab of glue into the middle of the bow part, and then used my tweezers to attempt to put that in the middle, and then wrap it around. I'd recommend using a not heavy cardstock for this. It'll be easier to work with since, as you know, heavier cardstock is a little bit harder to bend. And then on the back I added a drop of glue, and I just put it together with my tweezers and let it set there until the glue dried. So for the banner, we're going to come back to that now, and I'm going to choose the Copic colors that I want to use, and I decided to use the teal and match that. So I'm choosing some BG colors. I believe it's BG 13, BG 15, and BG 18. So I'll start with the BG 13, the lightest color, and I'm just going to color in the whole front part of that. And I had to be extra careful when I was coloring so that I didn't color out the lines outside of the lines since I cut the white border around there. And then I'm going to go in with the BG 15 and do some shading along the edges and then along the folds of the banners, like the shadows would normally be with the folded banner. And then I'll take the BG 15 and just go into the parts that would naturally be much darker. And then once I'm done coloring, I'm going to take my Tuxedo black Memento marker and I'm going to use the skinnier side and just add some faux stitching along the edge of the orange cardstock. And then I'll take my same 3D foam squares and adhere the banner right over the strings of the balloons. And for my card base, I chose a craft cardstock and I just cut that to the A2 size card base. So it's 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. And then I'm going to adhere the little bow die. I just took a drop of my Tombow Mono Multi Glue and I'm just going to place that bow right onto there. And then to finish the card, I'm just going to add some of the moonshine sequins to each side of my balloons. And same with that, I just use a drop of the Tombow Mono Multi Glue to adhere those on. And I struggled a little bit with the sequins on this one for some reason too. It was a bit of a challenging card for me to complete with the sequins and the bow die. Alright, and there is our finished birthday card. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.